Joining me now is the woman who is the definition of fierce. ये वो लड़की है जिन्होंने अपनी बचपन की फोटो इंस्टाग्राम पर पोस्ट करके अपनी खुद की स्ट्रगल्स के बारे में बात की. About her acne, her body issues. लेकिन कुछ faceless aggressive लोगों ने उसे ट्रोल किया, इंसल्ट किया and of course shame किया. She got comments such as acne isn't such a big deal and just coping with it didn't make you a stronger person, blah blah blah. People regularly comment on her unconventional looks, which I personally think are stunning. But this brave woman battles with body image issues every day like a true soldier. Please welcome to my studio the carefree and the absolutely gorgeous Masaba Gupta. Yes, lovely to have you. And I'm super excited.
Thank
Please.
you.
Looking stunning.
Thank you, as you are.
So, I ask all my guests, what, according to you, do women want with their bodies?
I think they want to be told that they should just be as they are and that they should be comfortable as they are and that they don't need to constantly keep working on themselves. Because I feel like the pressure to just be, you know, first they say, you know, like I'm sure you've gone through this yourself where, you know, you've had a baby and then they talk about that, they talk about the weight, but then they say don't become too skinny when you have a baby, and then they say but then lose all the weight you're looking. Yeah, so I think there's so many things that a woman has to deal with just in general. I feel like they should just be told come as you are, be as you are, and just celebrate that.
So when did you realize that this is what, like, you felt that, okay, I'm being body shamed and, you know, I need to do something about it? And
you know, it was the first time when I've battled with acne, like very bad acne for about 14 years, and it's just consistent. It's always there. It's a part of me now. And I just feel like, you know, one day I got up and I said, I had this new breakout and I had obviously eaten some junk and not taken care of myself. And I had this breakout and I said, and I found this photograph of myself where I was about, I think 10 kgs up, and I had even worse skin, obviously.
Okay.
And I just thought I'll put it up because so many girls write to me on Instagram and social media, and they're like, how do you take care of your skin? You know, now you've of course got better skin, but how do you take care of it? And I thought that that's the only way I can ever tell them that, look, this happens to everyone. It gets better. But while that thing is so, I mean, while you have so much acne and while you have all that body weight, you just have to live it and you have to fight everyone who tells you that you should look differently or you should try. Because, I mean, we all try, we all work, and no one's sitting back and saying it's okay to look a certain way or, you know, be unhealthy or have bad skin. But
and now you're looking super fit, you're super healthy.
I think, you know, I really feel like health and looking good should be a, you know, more about health as opposed to
and feeling great,
cosmetic beauty and feeling great. Because I know people who are just very skinny and fit, but they're so unhappy and they look so bitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I feel
people
like
who don't, you know, eat, you know, I just feel the
like
same way. I just
eat the burger but smile.
Yeah.
You know?
Then it's guilt-free.
Then it's guilt-free, and I feel like they'll just be happier people, is what I think. So I feel like what you are inside anyway shows on your face, it radiates through.
Yeah.
And I really feel that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So of course, Masaba, I have to ask you this. You know, of course, there are a lot of people, jane anjane mein, of course, not really meaning it. They do have racist comments. You being, you know, half Indian, half West Indies. You know, your roots also being, you know, part
black. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I also don't even, I feel like asking you this question. I feel it's so wrong, but I just want you to talk about it, you know, how you feel that what people, when they make these comments.
I don't understand why Indians are racist to begin with, because half of our population is dark. So
yeah, and it's quite colorful.
It's very colorful, and from north to south, you see the largest spectrum of color.
Absolutely.
And I don't get why they have the obsession with fair skin. It's something that's always baffled me. But with me, you know, the thing is, with anything to do with black people, you know, you get called a Negro, which, by the way, is now a word that's banned in most places.
Yeah, or nigger for that matter.
Nigger is banned.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't really say that. It's considered very offensive. And they also immediately start comparing you with apes and monkeys, and that's something I get a lot. And I feel like once they see you in that light, they literally feel like that's all they see. You can do the best work that you've done. You can, you know, see.
And they're not looking behind your color. They're not looking behind your.
They just see that, and they see my father's heritage, and they see. They also see the fact that, you know, my mother and father were never married, and they then make it all a big mess and just, you know,
Yeah, of course,
attack me with it. And I really worry if I have to bring a child into this world, I don't know what I would ever say to her if she was dark skinned. I worry about it. I asked my mom what she went through. You know, she, interesting story, but I didn't get admission in school because there was the whole thing about who my father was at the time. And she actually had to find, like, you know, something to say because I didn't look like an Indian child, you know. So there was all that, and then there were questions being asked about who the father is and things like that. And in school, I think kids especially, they're innocent, but they can be really hard.
But did this, of course, they're making these comments on, you know, your father, the fact that, you know, of course, you're dark-skinned.
Yeah.
Of course, emotionally, I'm sure it took like a huge
I don't
toll
think it ever
on you.
leaves you. It hasn't left me for sure, and I think it'll never leave me. And which is why I keep saying that if I have to, you know, make a family and I have to raise a child, I don't know how I'll be able to do it because it happens on the street. People think I can't talk Hindi.
But you're dealing with it so beautifully. And
so a lot of people tell me you shouldn't take it on every day. You shouldn't, you know, attack every troll. But I feel you should. I find it very empowering. I actually, I enjoy it every day, and I actually now have started looking for trolls and what they say, and I like to go after them. I really
but it's
enjoy
got this, you know, you get this
It's a bit
addiction that when you
addictive.
want to kind of stand up for yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of that, you know, a lot of the time my mom will call me and she'll be like, "Why have you gone after this person also?" You know what I mean? Cause
And
like,
is it that one particular person?
no,
like,
no,
who's
it's
sometimes-
constant, and they're all anonymous, and you don't know.
Yeah, you
them
don't
and,
know, but
you
there's
know.
one. There's not been
Yeah.
ever one person who's like said something.
No, in
that-
everything positive, there's one person who'll always do that little negative turn, or there'll be 5 or 6. But I feel like for every one thing, I like to get up and like attack them back because I feel like that's the way it has to be tackled today because of social media.
Yeah, of course.
There's no other way. There's no other way.
So Masaba, I want to know that what, according to you, कि body shaming को रोकने का सबसे effective तरीका क्या हो सकता है?
I think the one thing is not to do it out of anger, because I feel like, you know, what happens is that when you're angry about something and you respond with anger, it kind of hurts you instead, and it doesn't leave you and you get riled up. It changes the way you face your day and things like that. I feel like it has to come from a place of responsibility, and you have to be responsible about what you say. I feel like sometimes you should explain things to people because they don't know better. And when I do that, I feel like they in turn are warmer, they're nicer.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way. I think
It's
that's
a
a
nice
lovely
way
way
of
to
doing
tackle
it, because a lot of people don't know better, and you have to be compassionate about
Yeah,
that.
instead
as
of being
well.
aggressive.
Correct. So I feel like, you know, unko agar pata nahi hai, to may as well just explain to them, and they just literally change and they turn sides and they become so much nicer to you and they see where you're coming from. So that's a very effective way. And I think also not to constantly, it's something I'm struggling with, but not to constantly keep going after it and make it like your
mission,
like that
yeah.
fake outrage, which
Yeah.
is such a big thing these days. Don't do that.
Masaba, what do you have to say about our jokes in these comedy shows that are always about, you know, fat people or skin color?
I think some of them are really meant in good
In
fun. And,
okay.
You know, they're not meant to offend anyone. And I think if it fits the context of what they're trying to say, it's okay. I think we're also becoming a generation of extremely offended people just at everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has to stop. But at the same time, everything can't be about that. I mean, if you get one dark person and, you know, make the whole show about them and
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
struggle, or make that the butt of your jokes, then I think that's very sad.
Or in some
because-
of these movies also they do it sometimes.
No, and every time the funny guy or the guy who's like, you know, who's kind of
The
who you
comedian
go
kind of
after
thing, yeah, is always
dark, and I find that fat,
Overweight, yeah.
and it's never going to be like a hot person.
So now where does this amazing confidence come from?
I still don't have the confidence every day. I mean, I wake up feeling different. Today I was just, you know, getting ready for the show, and I was like, I feel so bloated and I feel so fat and I feel so, you know what I mean? So it's constant. So I feel like that's something that you have to really move on with and feel like it's okay. I'm looking like this today. I probably won't look my best. It's okay. But my best could be somebody else's, you know,
Yeah,
terrible
absolutely,
or whatever.
yeah.
So I just feel like I have to challenge myself every day. And I always say this, I feel like confidence is like brushing your teeth, you know. So you get up
Yeah.
in the morning, You just tell yourself you're going to be confident. You tell yourself you're going to face
It's
the
like a
day.
ritual that you have to do.
It's a ritual.
Every morning.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
one
that's a
day
good
it will
point.
just come to you
Yeah.
naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'll feel like,
and
why
I hope
don't
our
I-
listeners are, going to pick this point up, because you said something that's so amazing. It is exactly, confidence is like
Yeah,
brushing
brushing
your teeth. I
your
think that's one of
teeth.
the best quotes that's come out of this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely. So continue making all the fabulous clothes, and I shall continue wearing them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.